Well, as we finish things up, we've got a few things to connect on, and then we will be done with the week. So here we go. The first group that I want to draw your attention to are the guys in the brown shirts there to the right. They're called Nazi stormtroopers, and they had been particularly a foe of communism in the past. They had even been mentioned, and I know that this was a very quick connection, even going back to the Lost Battalion. The German commanders, as they talk about stormtroopers. They're a formidable group of soldiers that have been used as the strongest fighting force to be able to be plugged in and take care of business. Well, here they are, and now in this moment, as Hitler came to power, they looked to him and said, basically, we demand or we expect certain leadership positions here within the government. But as a general rule, Hitler did not like to be dictated to. He wanted to be the one telling other people how things were going to be. And so he said, this is a time where we have to purge the stormtroopers. They have outlived their usefulness. It is now time to get rid of them. And so he uses his own personal bodyguard, a group a group named the SS, led by a guy named Heinrich Himmler, and they're going to, in one evening, round up 1,000 of these guys and going to shoot them. There's no trial. There's no kind of wait and see. They just round them up and shoot them because they see this group as a threat to the Nazi Germany that they want to create. So the stormtroopers are, in essence, eliminated even from the outset. They don't allow them a chance to build up power or popularity. They're just going to be rounded up and killed. Another group that is obviously going to be targeted by Hitler are the Jews. Even from the beginning, the Nazis have had it out for the Jews. You'll remember, even as we were talking on Wednesday, about how much animosity had been directed at this group. Hitler had blamed them for the woes that Germany faced, and now we're going to see him being able to do something about it. Now that he's come to power, they're going to receive the full degree of wrath that he is going to pour out on them. By the end of 34, a lot of the individuals who were toward the top of their individual field, so we're talking about lawyers, we're talking about musicians, we're talking about key professionals, doctors and professors listed there, have lost their job. They've been told because you are Jewish, you are no longer required to be here. We're going to go ahead and let you go. And it had nothing to do with their performance necessarily. It was exclusively something to do with their nationality, their bloodline. In 1935, so again, this is the next year, something called the Nuremberg Laws said that anybody that had one Jewish grandparent, so basically that works out to, as you think about the way that numbers go, that works out to a grand total of 1/4. If you were 1/4 Jewish, that was all that it took for you to be cut off from German citizenship. Even if you only had one grandparent that was going to be Jewish, that was all that it took for you to be considered Jewish. At that point, you would be cut off from German citizenship. A lot of people said, based on that, even in these first couple years, we're going to leave Germany. This is something that is threatening to us. This is something that we now are afraid is going to perhaps make life impossible to do. And so we're going to leave Germany. They leave and go out into other parts of Europe. Some of them use this moment to come to America. Jews begin to spread out, leaving Germany behind. 25% by 38 had said it is now time to go and find somewhere else to live. However, there was a healthy number of people who said, well, this guy has lost his mind, but it will get better. This is not something that will be forever. It's going to improve, and so we're going to stick it out. Germany is our home. This is something that we've known. This is something that we feel comfortable with, and so we're going to ride this out. However, instead of it getting better, it continued to actually escalate. You're going to see businesses and even these places of worship for the Jews, synagogues, being attacked. People would go after them and make life difficult, whether that was graffiti or even burning. In certain instances, synagogues would be set on fire. The Jews were facing an incredible amount of prejudice and even persecution as they now try to do normal life. But the Jewish individuals and leadership faced nothing but harshness from the Germans. Probably the most horrific of these occasions is going to be something called Kristallnacht, or Night of the Broken Glass. On that evening alone, you're going to see a 17-year-old a 17-year-old Jewish guy going after a German diplomat. His parents had been one of these groups or one of the individuals that had been picked on. And so now he said, this is something that I'm going to take into my own hands. He goes and he kills the German diplomat. And to pay them back, the Jews, that is, the Germans go after him. The Nazi troops are going to destroy, you can see an image there at the bottom, many of these storefront windows. They graffiti the word Jude, like you saw in the last slide, or Juden, Jewish, are going to start showing up throughout Germany. This is a moment where they said, we want to now communicate to the Jews just how much we hate them. As a result of the evening, you're going to see several of the Jewish people being assaulted, beat up, and even 30,000 beginning to be sent off to camps. These are not extermination camps like Auschwitz. We'll talk about those later, but this is the beginning of concentration camps where they're going to now be isolated, cut off from the rest of the German population due to only their background, only their heritage, only their bloodline. Because of this, the Germans are going to start persecuting wholesale the Jewish people. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. I will connect with you on Monday, and we will be ready to start our third week of virtual education. Hope that it's a good time to step away and catch your breath. I will see you guys on Monday.